Hey guys, 24 coming back with the part 2 of the Singleback Y trips formation out of the Denver Broncos playbook. Today we're going to look at it a little bit differently than we looked at part 1. Part 1 we had it just stock ways. We didn't have any motion, we didn't have any flippage, or we just basically ran plays the way it was. Part 2, however, we're going to do a little bit different to make sure that we can run the ball more effectively and actually be able to throw the ball as well and really give your opponent two really tough things to stop, because you're going to run the ball with a home run threat and also be able to use that same exact setup to have some fun with the pass plays, right? Okay, so basically let me go ahead and show you what we're going to do today. If you look at the Y trips right here, we're going to go ahead and take the packages on the bottom. We're going to click our right stick to the right hand side, and it's going to do the tight end slot. That's what we're going to use today for all of our plays for the part 2 series. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a halfback plunge. I'm going to show you how this is going to be able to help your running game and also be able to throw out of it to keep your opponent off balance. So we're going to go, and when you do the tight end slot, what you're going to see is you're going to see 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a running back set to the defense. You're going to get more 4-3 looks, you're going to get more 4-6 looks, more 3-4 looks than you would nickel. So we're going to go ahead and pick a appropriate matchup for the setup and kind of run some plays after this. So this is out of a 4-3, right? So the first thing we're going to do on everything today is we're going to motion this B receiver from right to left, okay? We want to stay consistent with that motion. That way we have that ability to not tip off what we're running. Okay, so this play is called the halfback plunge, and what we're trying to do is we're going to try to, and successfully, get this to the outside. All right, so if you look at the way it's intended on running between my guard and tackle. See where the arrow is pointing. We're going to let him take his first 2 steps there, and as soon as we have the ability to control him, we're going to kick it outside. The way this works and why it does work is because I've got 2 tight ends on the right hand side that kind of look like an ace pair look, where you got the 2 guys on the right. There is a huge gap between them, but we're still going to be able to use that to our advantage. Also, by kicking it out to the right, you're going to be able to suck all your linebackers into the middle of the field and giving our blockers a better opportunity to get better angles on them, to get a hat on a hat and be able to get to the outside. The only player that's unattended for is that free safety deep in the back of the field. Everybody else has the ability to get blocked that matters on this play. So I'm going to run it a couple times, then I'm going to slow it down on instant replay, show you what I'm talking about, why it works, and use this as our base run play for this formation. So go ahead and kick it outside. And you can see it's going to be very consistent that we're not going to get touched for at least 5, 6, 7 yards, okay? And the reason why that's going to happen is because of these seal-off blocks. The main player that you really want to put in the right position is going to be your number 2 tight end. And I'm going to show you why and who in a second here. So, basically, the guy here, his name is Pasco for me, right here. That's going to be the number 2 wide tight end slot. The number 1 tight end slot is Toilolo. He's going to be the one in the slot, right? The reason why you want your number 2 tight end to be your best blocker is because he has to make this seal-off block, and he is the one that if he doesn't make this block, this play can get shut down. So get your best tight end possible for blocking purposes in your number 2 spot, so that way you can have the seal-off block and be able to run. So we're kicking it outside. Sometimes you have to read that you got to go inside on that, depending on how that goes, and see from there. So let me go ahead and show it to you in slow motion why this works and why we get a hat on a hat, okay? So basically, if we look to the right-hand side, the guy number 86, Pasco, he's your main guy, okay? He's going to go one-on-one with that defensive end. Now look at the way the ball is handed off and where the first direction goes to the running back. It goes straight up. What that's going to do is it's going to suck all the linebackers in. See how they come in? It gives number 68 a better opportunity to block. It gives number 61, my center, an opportunity to block. Now we're going to cut it to the outside. Now look here. Look at all my guys here, guys. I've got a hat on a hat everywhere. All right, I've got everybody locked in place, and then I've got my number 80, which is my tight end number 1, going after that strong safety. Number 80 takes an inside release every time, because he's looking for somebody, realizes everybody's blocked, and then he goes and kicks the guy out. That's going to help you cut the ball inside that guy a lot, because he's driving away from the play and being able to do it. So actually see everybody's got a hat on a hat. 86 is holding his ground. He just has to hold him just enough to get around the corner. Then you get here, look, he's at the 5-yard mark right now. He's at the 7-yard mark, 8. Here's the 10-yard. He doesn't get touched until about the 11 to 12-yard run, right? So that's why this play is the main play of this to set everything else up. Now, we do have one other run we could run in this. That's the halfback toss strong. Same type motion, and it's going to the same direction. I'll show it to you real quick. And you can use this if you like to run toss plays. I'm not a toss play guy, but it does give you the ability to get some yards. I think that the plunge is a better play here. But when you run this play, if you look at it, you want to basically do the same exact thing with your motion, and it does get set up well because your outside tight end is going to be able to drive that guy out, and then your inside tight end, he holds that block well, and you're just really looking for your pulling guard to be able to get that first linebacker, which is the guy on the right. Okay, so if he gets that guy, then you're going to be able to get some yardage. But you can definitely tell that the plunge is more effective. That's why I run the plunge more than the toss. Okay, so enough with the run plays. Let's go ahead and show you how we can build off this play, right? So let's get this out here, and let's start off with the PA wide receiver in. I've shown a bunch of videos on this play, and this is one of those plays that I'm a fan of, but I'm going to show it to you differently here to show you how we can beat different things. Instead of, in the past, what I would do is I would put this RB on a streak, I'd put the A on a slant, and I'd go home run to B. Okay, you can still do that. It doesn't work as effectively only because with a tight end in the slot, he's a slower receiver, okay? And the way this works in the past with an RB, he needs to be able to get in front of the B receiver in order to get that free safety to play him rather than the B receiver. That's why we go for the home run throw. With the tight end in the slot, he doesn't always get there. It's a little bit less of a guarantee. That's why I'm not showing you this way. I'm showing you other plays in order to do it. And we're also sticking with the B wide receivers to the left. And we're going to go ahead and just show it this way, so that way you can see that we're keeping the motion the same, right? So basically, we're going to move him over. We're going to streak the B receiver after we move him over. And then we're going to streak the A receiver, okay? That's your adjustments, right? The first one we're going to do is we're going to throw it to this wheel pattern on the right-hand side. The design of this play is that the guy behind that's covering Toilolo is going to go in a back pedal, and the guy who's supposed to cover to that flat is that middle, is that linebacker that's closest to the A receiver. He doesn't get there in time. So let's go ahead and show it to you. You're going to go ahead and cut off your play action and throw a quick ball to the right-hand side. So let me just run it without explaining it so much. Move him over, A on a streak, B on a streak, and we're going to cut off our play action and throw it to the RB receiver. Okay, so that's option number one. It's a quick hitter. It's about 5 to 7 yards, something that you're going to be able to make sure that they are respecting that side, right? On the same play, we're going to do the same exact setup. Now we're going to throw it to our A receiver, who's going to go right up the gut. Oh, he got held up a little bit there, but to his outside shoulder. Okay, that wasn't a good release. We still were able to get it for him, but normally speaking, if he does a better release, you're going to be able to have a better throw to him. So A streak, B streak, and the reason why is with that wheel, he drives out everybody else. You're going to be able to throw it right there and get him right in that little soft spot, right? Next play we're going to look at is the tight end option. All right, in all these plays today, we're going to go motion right to left. So let's go to the tight end option. And let's go ahead and find it here, tight end option. Let's go ahead and stay consistent with our coverage calls. And going right to left. Now on this, we're going to put the Y on a streak, which is your running back. And then we're also going to go ahead and put your A on a drag, which is that second tight end, right? So here on the first play, we're going to go ahead and get it to the C route, which is the X receiver. And watch how this undevelops right here. right there, and he's going to be open on that one corner. We're going to do the same exact thing here again. Move this guy over, put your Y on a streak, put your A on a drag. Okay, so it's going to be the same setup. And this time we're going to get it to our running back on his streak route out of the backfield once he clears. So once he gets through there, and you're going to throw it right there. Okay, just another option, same exact setup, so whoever you feel, you can go left one, then you go to the middle, you know, basically go back and forth, give your opponent two different options to throw to. The next play we're going to look at is the curls. And on the curl route, let's go ahead and take a look here. Curl play. We're going to take advantage of this inside post that we've got from the slot receiver. So we're going to go ahead and do the same motion over. And we're going to motion the B route, we're going to streak them, and then we're going to put the A on a slant. So it kind of looks like a double slants right there. If you can see that, A slant, RB slant. And you want to hit this RB right there, right off his break. Okay, the A slant is going to hold the linebackers where he needs to be, right there. And you're going to be able to hit him right on his break. Right there is the throw, okay? So you can see how that's open and be able to use that play over the middle. Next play we're going to look at is the slot drive. And you're going to see is we're really going to be able to throw and run with the same motion, so now you can really open up that plunge play. And because the plunge play is in your audibles, you know, you really can mess with your opponent. So the next play, like I said, we're going to go to slot drive. And oop, I'm in the nickel. Let's go back to that 4-3 because that's what they're going to be calling. Move this over. Alright, so we're just going to motion him over, and we're going to put the A on a drag. Okay? Now, the double drag from the right is going to hold everybody low. The B is going to kick everybody out. This is going to be a comeback route to the X receiver. This is going to be able to kick this out. Once he's got that ability, you're going to throw it right there in that little hole. You can see I didn't block my running back, and that almost got me because of the fact that he did his little supposed to check block and then go out. But because he didn't get blocked, I got really close, but we're still able to get the throw off. Right. Next play we're going to look at is the stick play. And all right. Let's go ahead. We're going to do the same motion. On the stick, that's all we're going to do is the motion. I'm going to have two different type reads here. Your first read is going to be that tight end on that stop, that A route right there. The second read is going to be the X, okay, on the slant. So basically, you want to read the linebackers. You have two options here. If the A gets left open, you throw it to him. If the A gets covered, it's going to X. So we're looking at the A right here. He got covered by that linebacker. We're throwing to the X. It's kind of just a 1-2 read. Let's see. By moving this guy over, we're staying consistent with the coverage, but we're also driving back the linebacker so you can be able to get that X underneath. So let's go ahead and see if we can hit the A here. Okay, again, he doesn't. He gets covered. We're going to the X. So it's a look either. Throw to the A, throw to the X, either where one of them is going to be open because it can't be covered by this. The same guy has to cover either or, right? So it's a nice, 1-2 read there. The next play I really like. It's called Doubles China, and I want to go ahead and show this play here. It looks kind of simple, the Doubles China play, but let's go ahead. We're going to run a lot of variations off of it, and that's what I like is when you can go ahead and run a lot of different things, right? So the first thing we're going to do is going to move our guy over like we have been doing, and we're going to fade him, right? So that's with him on a fade. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to put the A on a streak. All right, so that's your setup. We're going to going to this X receiver here once it all clears. Okay, I just got hit here. Let's try this again. So I'm going to move this guy over, put him on a fade, put the A on a streak, and we're going to go to the X receiver. Let everybody settle. You're going to throw it right there in that middle. That one's a really good cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 beater because you're driving everybody back. It hits the soft spot in every single zone. All right. The next one we're going to do is going to do the same motion, but this time we're going to put the running back on a wheel. Okay. So basically, all we're doing was motioning the B from right to left, and we're not going to do anything with him. We're just going to leave him on his spot, and we put the Y on a wheel. Now look what happens to the wheel here. It basically opens up for you because it gets kicked out by that one receiver. Nobody covers it. Let's go ahead and show it to you again. All right, so the wheel to the left. That B is going to kick out that one guy that would be in his zone, and we're going ahead and getting 8 to 10, no problem, right? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to build off that. After we run that play, we're going to put instead of putting the Y on a wheel, we'll put the Y on a streak. And it's going to look very similar to your opponent because it just doesn't get a wide thing. It's going to get the Y. So we're hoping that they jump the Y route, right? After we run the wheel. What we're going to try to do here is see that B route. We're going to run and we're going to let him do a bumper route. What I mean by the bumper route, once it gets to the sideline, he's going to go upfield like an out and up. And he's going to be wide open, all right? So let's go ahead and show it to you here. So we can go to the B here, and what I did there is I waited I threw it too early because of the pressure, and that's the one thing that you have to worry about this play is getting enough time. If you get enough time, you got to kind of have to buy time, and you want to throw it to him when he gets a separation. So let's go ahead and see here. See, I got hit again there. So let's see if I can get a little bit better timing here. Show you what the potential of the play is. If we have enough time to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead. Hopefully my guys aren't holding up here. Let me see. And this is a common problem with my team. This is a play that you can't run against the blitz, obviously, and then you want to make sure that your opponent... Alright, so this time we've got the ability to do it, and he goes out and up. So I like to call this play on a lot of your drop zones. You know, when your person comes out with a cover 3 drop, cover 4 drop, and you know that they're doing the drop zones, being able to only have them rush 3, you're going to have more of an ability to beat them down the field. That time I was able to... Oops, I didn't see that guy going down the field. That time I was the ability to buy a little bit more time, but you can see what the potential of this play is. What I wasn't doing before that I didn't show it to you is that X receiver needs to also be on a streak to drive the guy out. So let's go ahead and show it to you again. Let's see if we can buy the time here. Just taking and there's the B throw. Okay, so that's the way you're supposed to run it. I wasn't running it the right way the first time, but also so let's do it one more time for consistency purposes. From right to left, put the X on a streak, the Y on a streak, and let's go ahead. Try to buy as much time as we can, step up in the pocket a little bit, throw it to the bumper route, and you're good to go. Okay, so that's how you run that play with the bumper route. Let's go ahead and show you another couple ways to show with the doubles China. We're going to go ahead and move this B over to the left again. And now we're going to streak them. We're going to take the RB streak. Okay, and now we take the Y and we're going to swing right. Okay, so that's the play there. Okay, this will get the X open as well, but we're not looking at the X here. We're going to look at the A and the Y here. Okay, so you got both A and Y on the right hand side. Both of them are going to be early depending on when you want to throw it to them, right? The ideal spot is to throw it to the A receiver because of the fact that he's going to be down the field. But the Y is definitely a nice dump off if you get blitzed. So let's go ahead and try to get to the A first. Alright, so once that guy kicks, the A gets wide open once the guy goes ahead and hits the Y, right? And then the second time here, let's go ahead and move this guy over, put the B on a streak, and put the RB on a streak. That's all you get to do. Y on a swing to the right. And now, if you want to, hit the Y early, get your 3, 4, 5 yards. You can definitely run this play on short yardage situations if you want to do it, or if you like your ability to take on a defender with your running back. You've got somebody that's real elusive. Go ahead, get it to him early, and it's that guy versus that guy. you know. But you're going to get 5 yards regardless, just by dumping it off if you get any blitzes. But, you know, the main spot we're going to throw to here is the A receiver. I'm going to show it to you again. And the A receiver doesn't appear to be open at first, but as soon as that guy jumps it, the guy gets wide open, okay? And then you get it down the field. So that's how you run doubles China, guys. Definitely a lot of different ways. And then we've got a couple more plays that we're going to highlight here for the part 2 of the series. And I'm going to show you here on the Y trail is the next play here. And what we're going to do is going to take the same motion right to left. And on the Y trail, look how that goes ahead. Now you got 2 fades on the left-hand side, right? 2 fades is actually a pretty cool way of getting open a wheel route. Because what they're going to do is they're going to hesitate and they're just going to drift. And those players drift with them, opening up the wheel so that you can go ahead and throw it. And then it almost turns into kind of like a screen. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So basically they drift. You throw it to him. And they just basically clear out 10 yards for your running back. Let me show it to you again so you can see basically what I'm talking about. So you don't do anything with the B. You just let him go, let him switch his route. All you're doing is putting Y on a wheel, and you go on as they drift. Everybody drifts with them, and now you got 15 yards. So it's definitely a nice ability to just to clear out space for that wheel route. And now we're going to build off that, basically move this guy over, put the same thing on the wheel. Okay, so that way, now that you've got him a couple times in the wheel, we're going to come back to the A receiver the way this play is intended. And you want to go ahead and throw it right on his break and get 5 to 7 yards. So this is definitely a nice short yardage play. The reason why I like it is because, one, if you don't manually cover the wheel, a lot of the coverages you're going to be able to get those yardage easily. But if they go ahead and manually cover the wheel, now you're throwing it to the A receiver and you're getting your yardage. Okay, so that's the wide trail. Now the last play of this is kind of a fun play, and I saved it for last as far as this part of the series is, and it's going to be the halfback screen. And this one's going to kind of open up some head scratchers, but definitely something that we want to throw in there. Okay, so just the same motion, right to left with Jones. What we're going to do with Jones is we're going to put him back on a drag. Okay, he's going to be the guy we're throwing it to. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the RB on a streak and put the Y on a swing left. Those are your adjustments, right? Okay, so we're going to get it to Jones on the drag. What the Y on the swing left is going to do, you'll notice that a good majority of the time your linemen are going to notice that it's a screen and they're going to follow the running back. We want them to go left to the running back instead of going right where the screen's intended. So hopefully they'll do it on one of these examples when I do it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's usually one of the defensive tackles, and it's usually the defensive tackle on the side that he's going to swing to. So I would assume that it's going to be the defensive tackle on the left-hand side. But let's go ahead and show it to you and show you how this play develops. And now you've got your ability to get there. I didn't follow my blocks very well because I was kind of just looking at that one defensive tackle like I was saying. Let's go ahead and reach to replay, and then we'll run it better. See, this is the guy I'm talking about here, this guy right there. He, on the swing, he reads it, and see how he goes to that guy. That gives me more time to throw the ball. Do you see that? He reads screen, he's going to the swing. That's why I'm swinging him left. That's the only reason why I'm swinging left. A lot of people would put him on a block just to give it, but that gives me the opportunity of not getting crushed in the face. I mean, I can still get this ball off if he doesn't do it, but it's a lot better when I have that ability. So watch, you get all 4 guys in, you throw it to him, and now you've got your caravan of blockers. It's really, if you look at it here, it's 5 on 3 on the right-hand side. Your intent is to get behind those guys, right? Those guys bump into each other, and I outrun number 63, and that's the reason why I should have cut this inside and let 63 do something for me, but I ran right into the blockers. So you want to read this a little bit better, but let's go ahead and show it to you the potential of this play. So you move him over, put the RB on a streak, put the Y on a swing left. Okay, B on a drag. There it is. You're going to go to the B receiver, and now you're going to go behind him. And I'm not running my blocks very well, but let's go ahead and see if we can show this to you the way, if you do everything right, the way it should work. Okay, so swing this way. Alright, so it's a little bit better right there. And you can see, even if it doesn't hit a home run on the first try for you, if they have to worry about this, you're ahead of the game. You know, they have to watch every single time you go in motion. The first thing they're thinking is he going back to the right? So right now, if I'm playing you on defense, and I've just showed you the entire scheme, I'm worried about the running the ball to the right on the plunge. I'm worried about the B going back as my first two threats. If you have to watch those players, it's going to open up so much things for you, because you can go ahead and play off this, and you can put the B on a drag on other plays that he's not in the play, and be able to get other things open. So let's go ahead and just throw it here. And oh man, I just missed getting around the corner. But at the very least, you're getting 6 yards. But I want to see when it all goes in unison, the way it can work. Alright, so we're having a hard time getting that right guy. It's my tight end. You know what I didn't do? I think I was putting my tight end on a streak when I probably should be putting on a fade. That'll drive him a little bit more to that side. Let's see if that works better. Alright, so regardless, you're going to be able to get, you know, your 8 to 10 yards if you do it that way. Hopefully, you'll have a little bit more success than I am on this video. But this is definitely a home run threat if you follow your blocks the correct way. Okay, that's a little bit better. And that time we got 15 yards, and being able to just do really put just another threat in their mind. You know, it's really everything is built off trying to get this plunge to be a base play, you know, and you know, that time was a little bit better for us. It does get a little tricky getting in, you know, trying to get in through all those weaves and bobs, but you know, basically we go ahead, you run that once, come back with your audible to the halfback plunge, and that's the play that this entire thing is built off of. You know, now after watching the whole video, you forgot about the plunge, right? And now the plunge is the home run threat on the run play. So you know, especially if you want to try to run this on a quick huddle type deal, you know, you go ahead and do the same motion each time. You don't know which way you're going. He goes to the left, you plunge it to the right, and able to, you know, get a bunch of yardage. Come back on the next play. You can go ahead and run, you know, the PY receiver in, move this guy from right to left. Your intent, now you're putting the A on a streak. Your intent is to get to the RB or the A, depending on which one you want. If you want it quickly, you throw it to the RB, come back, run the same play. Well, now we're doing the screen because that's what we were in originally. Come back with the screen, put the RB on the thing, Y on the swell, and now you're just wrecking havoc. You know, you're basically just trying to figure out, you know, with your opponent, you don't know what they're doing. Now you come back, you got the wide receiver in, you move that guy in, you put the A on a now you're going to try to get to the A receiver here. And you throw it right there. You come back. You go back to the plunge. You know, these type things, you know, the receiver, they're not going to know what you're doing. You know, it's one of those, you can scheme all the way down the field if you want to make this your main scheme, or you can go ahead, you know, and just do this one drive down the field on one of your schemes. I'm going to be giving you so many schemes, guys, that you're going to be able to go ahead and, you know, be able to pick and choose what you want. You come back with the plunge again. You haven't done it twice in a row in a game yet. You know, every single time you've been doing it back to a pass play. Let's go back to the plunge, and you know, kind of just work that in. So that's your part 2 of the scheme of the single back Y trips. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll come back with part 3. I think there's 3 parts to this, and